And if people pop in, That's it. That's all right. Welcome. Just want to make sure everybody's comfortable. Everybody got some water? We've got water? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Everybody's got a micro. Reggie, see, Reggie, you're just too comfortable right now. See? I can't trust Reggie.
Always, bro.
He's going to fall asleep on me.
Always.
I'm telling you. This guy, at least we don't have the red room this time. Because remember that last time in that seductive living room with all the red colors.
Yeah, the swinger. Yeah, the swingers room.
Yeah, I remember that swinger room. Shoot. All right. You know what? Let's start. I got new intro music, so just get ready. We're gonna start right now. Are we ready? I think we're ready. Ready? My camera. Now that we can actually make money because we're not using any copyright music. That's all right. Welcome. Hope you guys can hear me. I'm glad for everyone to be here. It's me. It's the BEAST, also known as the Beast. Good. And I'm here with my co-host who only wears black.
Emotional damage.
That's all I'm gonna say. I can rock some pink. Last time it was orange, rocking the golf. Man, I made this place look good. All right, so we're here.
You know what? You might want to take some string and like tighten the arms or do some curls.
That's all biceps, buddy. Come on, I work out. All right. Well, I haven't worked out for a while, but this is after a lot of work for years and years and years. All right, so chill out. Don't be jealous. Don't hate. Anyways,
I got you.
We're having fun. Welcome to the show, everyone. Hopefully, everybody's having a great Monday. It's warmer than usual here in Winter Peg, so I'm glad that it's warming up. Everybody out there that is in my show right now on this panel is in sunny US of A, and I'm upset. I have to shovel 18 centimeters of snow. Okay, think about that. 18 centimeters. So, anyways, we are here. Another great show lined up for you folks. We had a whole bunch of people, I guess, lined up to participate. Some had technical difficulties. Others just didn't show up. So I'm going to call them out later on. But we're here. We're having fun. And we'll introduce everybody here. First, I'm going to introduce the elder statesman of the group, the veteran, Reginald. Good afternoon. Good evening, Reginald. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, it's good to see you.
I am wearing black. See what it's on.
See what the Harvey brothers do? See? Trying to make me look bad. That's all right. That's all right. I see you bring Big Bro up. That's all right. Of course, we have Nicholas from the previous show. Nicholas, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent. Now we have no newcomers here. Michelle. Now, Michelle, you've seen our show before in the past, yes or no? Michelle? She's muted. I think she muted herself. She did. See? Technical difficulties. She's new. It's okay, folks. She's new. It's all right. She's new. We'll get her. We'll go down to my old high school buddy here, Wale.
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
I'm happy you're being here. I have to have some Canadian flavor up in this joint.
Yes.
Man. Michelle, you good? I mean, just make sure you might have to restart your phone because I had to tell Nicholas to do the same thing, and it actually worked. It's probably because you're on an iPhone, and you know how iPhones are. They give you
emotional damage.
That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Sorry, Michelle. Sorry, you might have to pop out and pop back in. Yeah, see, I'm just clowning you. I'm all right. I'm just joking. But hopefully we'll get her back and in the swing of things. So we got two topics today that we are happy to kind of hash out. Jules, which one do you want to start with today? You're muted. You muted. See again. You muted yourself too. Come on. What kind of operation am I working with right now?
So let's start with yours.
I quit. Run
Calm
the show
down.
yourself, Jules. Run the show
Calm down.
yourself.
Calm down, Pinky.
Jeez. I'm gonna call my agent right now. Wait a minute.
Let's start with yours because yours is basically science based, and my question is more
opinion based. Yeah.
not just opinions, what people have already been through.
Okay. We got a few others popping in. Host Sway is in the house. Welcome, Host Sway. Michelle is now back in the house.
Yeah, but can you hear me?
Oh, look at that! I'm telling you, iPhones. I'm not even saying anything. Anyways, all right. So we'll start with mine. We'll start with the topic that I was posting out there about fitness. Now, I've seen a lot of people working out, and that is a good thing. Working out is an amazing stress reliever. Again, we were going through a pandemic where the working out is not only for the physical mind, but for the mental mind. Now, what is upsetting with me nowadays is that people are taking working out as an obsession, and it seems like it's now harming them rather than hurting them. I saw a few people that I've seen that have lost a lot of weight in a span of probably 2 to 5 years, and they've done great, but they continue this trend to continue to work out intensely and not fuel their body or not let their body shift the way it should when it comes to working out, and they look like they're sunken in, like they just, everything is just hanging off them. The face is just looking like they're skeletons, and it's upsetting. So I brought on Wale is a trainer himself out there in the U.S. And I wanted to get people's point of view of fitness, and what do you think is the big obsession of looking thin? And I mean, again, it doesn't. Do I really say thin? Again, someone's phone is just going off right now. That's Reggie. See Reggie always making noise. I'm gonna mute Reggie. No, I'm not saying. I'm just joking. But anyways, and on the flip side, we have people who claim that they go to the gym and they have this routine, be it the same routine or whatever they do, and they go there and they go there every day, do the same thing over and over and over, and they don't lose anything. But they say because they're going. So I want to see the consensus of what people think about people working out these days. Do you think people are taking it too far with the society of a certain image, or do you think it's okay for what they're doing? That like the obsession of working out is okay. I'll start with Wale because he's there right now. Occasionally, he's a trainer. I've known him for a while, so I want to take his point of view real quick. Go ahead.
Well, I think the obsession is okay, but there's two sides to the coin, right? Because after time, a lot of people that for example that come to me for training, one of the first things they talk about is they want to look like somebody else, so, and they always ask what does it take to get to that level or to look like that person. And most of the time they're not even interested in the nutrition or the workout part. They're more interested in the supplements side of things. I always tell people you find more people using supplements in local gyms than people doing bodybuilding.
Right.
And that's where I think the obsession is. More of what do I have to do to get to where I need to be, rather than the journey and understanding yourself and seeing how your body changes and what you need to do to sustain that, along the way. But everybody just wants that instant gratification. And I think that's where the obsession really is. Because you have people on social media walking around or posting pictures, 4%, 5% body fat. And people think that's how they are every single day. And healthy body is not walking around at 4%, 6% body fat. But people just don't want to, wrap that around their head, and they don't want to believe that. They think that's how it should be.
Now, do you think that people are kind of blind of how they look when they hit this goal? For instance, people are looking for that 4 or 5% body fat, and they jump on the scale and they do the measurements and all that, and they see and feel that, but they don't look healthy. Uh, yeah, like I know, I'm not sure if you've had any clients. I've seen a lot of people that I know who have done uh, uh, great gains in terms of changing their body fat and changing their whole body itself, but they get so wound up in the whole numbers regime that they don't really know how they're looking to the public eye, and it's kind of scary. Because do you think now exercising could kind of change the risk from being healthy to being a health risk because they're going too far?
Yeah, and I think in every situation you will always have people that do it to the extreme. I think right now it's still at a number that it's still okay to a certain degree. Because you'd rather be. I always tell people you'd rather be have an obsession with fitness than something else that is gonna harm your body. Even though there's a fine line, when it comes to fitness too, in terms of harming your body.
Hmm.
I just think that there's a lot of information out there, and us as coaches, fitness coaches, we just need to do a better job to try and help people use that information, because I think people are just taking that information and they're just running with it, crashing into the wall, and they're not thinking about anything. I have females who have been on diet for like 2 years straight.
Hmm.
They didn't take a break, they didn't take anything. They just think they need to continuously be on that diet. And I'm like, no, you got to treat yourself like an athlete. There's an off season, there's an in season, mid season.
Yeah.
Like you got your body is the same as an athlete. It moves like an athlete. You're just not getting paid to look or be at a certain fitness level.
Hmm.
So I will always say yes. There's a fine line, and it's easy to cross. But right now, we're still at a number where it's not too bad. But you could see it once in a while, especially with social media. It's easy to just to cross that line, and it could be a bad obsession, down the road.
I totally agree, and I'm gonna move to Jules here, because again we know, uh, being in the same fitness industry and kind of going through the same process. This is how we've met in terms of education and kind of exposure. I've noticed, I've kind of kept my eye out on social media these days, and it seems like a lot of people are now depending on gimmicks and helping supplements or helping fads to get them to lose weight. Uh, Now, dude, what do you think about those ketones or the nooms or all the V shreds and all that stuff that people are seeming to be just caught up on? What's your take on that?
All right. So first, we we all actually work out. Michelle works out. Reggie works out.
Mhm.
Nicholas is also a personal trainer here in Florida. So at first, my first thought is to first get the person to figure out what they want to do, right? And then things change. Your program has to change. Your lifestyle has to change. Everything that you do has to change. Unfortunately, I actually spoke to a young lady yesterday, and she was talking about she actually just hired a personal trainer in Orlando, and she said, "Well, after after a couple months, I'll know what I'm doing." And I'm like, "No, you won't know what you're doing.
Hmm.
You're
Hmm.
like, just because your personal trainer is going to give you a program, yeah. So just because your personal trainer is going to give you a program, once you stop seeing him, doesn't mean that that program is going to continue to work.
Right.
So a personal trainer is going to continue to change the program and change and basically trick your body.
Hmm.
Um, I think they all work. I think I'm not a fan of keto. I'm not necessarily a fan of V shred. I'm not a fan of CrossFit. either. But as long as people are active and they learn how that they have to change up, I think they'll be fine. But social media does blow to a lot of proportion. You can literally see like some of these fitness models when they're off camera and they take their butts off and everything else that goes on. And listen, I've seen the video. I've seen the video of this girl talking about how many squats she does and all this other stuff. And then she pissed off one of the camera guys, and the camera guy showed the video of her taking her fake butt off. And it's a thing. That's what grabs people's eyes. But like I said, as long as people are active, I'm fine with it. There are some things that I don't do, and it's for probably multiple reasons why I don't do it. But when you continue to do the same thing for 2 years, your body gets used to it, and then you stop getting those results that you initially wanted.
Fair enough. Okay, well, seeing that Michelle's the only woman in this panel here, I'm gonna kind of pick on her a little bit. Now, Jewel says you work out. No, again, Jewel says you work out, and that's great. Now, my question is, do you work out for you, in terms of health, or do you work out for a goal in terms of why you work out? Let me know.
Do I work out?
Yeah, well, I'm not asking if you work out. He says you work out. So my question is, do you work out?
I used to, but I'm getting lazy now. But when I did, it was just for mental.
So there was no real goal
like,
for you
about myself. I don't feel good about myself now.
Well, okay. So say for instance you wanted to start working out again. My question is, would you be working out for just your mental health or for your physical outlook?
Well, it's kind of both, but yeah, mostly my physical.
Okay. Now, a part two to that, do you either, how would I word this, look to a certain physique for your motivation, or is it, friends or a trainer that will help you motivate how you dictate your workouts or how you dictate your personal training regime?
I used to do a lot of running, so I think it was more like just me personally, or just setting goals for like races or.
Oh, so you did races,
right? Like marathons and stuff like that.
Okay. So really, it was more goal oriented for times and for being fit for a certain purpose.
Right.
Excellent. Okay, because again, I've seen a lot of people who claim that they're training, but they don't know what they're training for. So again, like Jewel said, there's always a purpose. Even what Wale said, there's always a way to train. You're an athlete, so you want to train for a certain reason, a certain purpose. And if you don't have a goal in training, then you're training wrong altogether. So that's a big deal. Okay, so that's all. Now, Nicholas, you're also a personal trainer yourself. What's your take on the industry and fitness right now?
To be honest with you, I mean, there's so many ads out there. Yeah, I mean, it's a business, right? It's business. Well, ads make money, but they all pretty much come from the same, a calorie. Or, I mean, it's always still a mathematical scientific equation. That's why I'm not really a big fan of like but I know that other people can have success with it for a short period of time, but it all comes down to the same formula, really. And at the end of the day, it's just a business. So there's a business side of it, and then there's the knowledge side of it. You know what I mean? And so that's what I think about it. And at the same time, just like in anything in life, whether it's a good thing or a negative thing, anything in excess can be a negative thing. You know what I mean? If you overtrain, you can. That's why there's such things of overtraining. You know what I mean? You can hurt yourself. Like there's certain type of things that if you're a certain maybe age or you have certain like certain hindrances, maybe you shouldn't be doing those exercises because you could seriously hurt yourself and you won't be working out no more. You know what I mean? So, and when it comes to like who society has always told, like pretty much dictated what people think is how they should look. And so unfortunately, that's where people get the image. It changes over, you know, every decade it changes, or so, you know what I mean, of how people think they should look. But nowadays, that's what it is. People, I mean, we have so much information at the ready. We have so much information at the ready that, you know, it's just like we're bombarded every day with just different like images of this is what you should look like, this, and people that are not in the industry or don't understand how it works, or you know that they're like, you know, Wale said there's an off season for athletes. You know, bodybuilding, they don't walk around looking like that all year long. You know what I mean? And the same people don't understand that, you know, or like that, you know, if you see some commercials of some people will say, oh, you don't have to do cardio at all, you don't have to do this, you don't have to, you know, but it's just because, you know, people are lazy. They don't want to count calories and they don't want to do certain things. So they're looking for an easier way. And so if a guy can make it sound pretty good, like, hey, you can just do this and you can lose weight, it's, you know, it gets gimmicky. You know what I mean? That's the thing about it. And I don't sell that. I just tell people what I believe is facts. I just tell people facts because I mean, that's how I've always been. You know what I mean? And so that's what I think of the industry.
Okay, I know you brought up some good points here, and I wanted to kind of touch base now. Everybody says there's a way to train, and you need certain things and certain diets and so forth. I never knock how people train and what people put in their bodies, because both of us, myself and Jules, we have a supplement company, so we would definitely like to have people uh, uh, have our business to help them with their goals. But then there's places or companies like Thrive and the ketones or whatever that just tell you to mix this or take that and not work out, and you'll get the results. I don't know if you folks are familiar with those types of companies. What's your take? I'll ask Reggie real quick. I mean, do you know about the ketones? Those, you know, those ketone packages and drinks and so forth. Do you know anything about those?
Yeah. Not a lot about it. Seen them advertised. For myself, what I found is there's always work involved, but and what I've seen in other people is everybody's body is a little bit different. So you have to go out there, do your research, study, figure out what your body likes and doesn't like, and start working towards that. There's no shortcut to the game. It's long term. It's a long battle. It's a long fight, but you will get there. And I think a part of, you know, with the social media products and people are seen out there is people want that thing lickety split. You know, they wanted, hey, I want to look like her tomorrow. You know, so people are doing the surgeries. They're doing these other aspects. They're being sold on these gimmicks and these products that are on TV or commercials and stuff like that, when they never really learned what their body needs and wants. I've been up and down on the scale where I jumped all over the place. You know, Ryan knows, Harv knows, I've been over 300 pounds at one time, been down, you know, at 200 pounds. You have to figure out what you want and make a long-term plan, not just a short-term plan to try to get someplace.
I do agree. Now, you brought
hold on 1 second, if I can. So, Josue, you work directly with high school and college athletes, and you were a college athlete yourself, right?
That's correct.
So what do you see that the kids are getting themselves into, and or the training for high school and college athletes?
I don't really like see what they're doing like from a daily basis. I know, speaking from my experience, we basically, a few of us, you know, on my high school team and college team for that matter, we just basically, you know, did weights. We worked out, we ran, We just, as my background is baseball. As baseball athletes, it's all about endurance. It's all about trying to maintain your shape because it's a grind. So, so if you're overdoing it, like if you are lifting too many weights, if you are packing up pounds, that's probably not a good idea for you if you're trying to, if you're trying to play. But I think the athletes today, they're mostly trying to get information from social media. Any type of advantage they want to get their hands on, they'll try it. So I guess mainly like the type of workouts and stuff, like, or the type of supplements that they take. I really don't know. I know creatine back then was pretty good for us. I took a little bit of that. Didn't really help as far as like physically. I've gotten stronger as I grew. So I guess it just depends on the athlete and what they want to put in and see if the results will work for them.
So I think I think what my biggest problem is, and Tunde's biggest problem is, where I'm sure all you guys see that some of these guys actually may be trainers, but then they are taking the social media to sell something that's false. So when it comes to the V shred, and when it comes to the Atkins, and it comes to keto and all that other stuff. So the perfect thing that Reggie said is everyone's body is different, and that's probably one of the reasons why most people should at least start with a personal trainer, and then the two of you can figure out what works best for your body. But just to see a guy that has 1 million followers on social media doesn't mean that he actually knows exactly what he's talking about. And if he doesn't tell you that the one thing you cannot fight without surgery is your actual DNA, then they are definitely giving you the wrong information.
Now, and this is I guess this is my gripe, because again, all of us have trained or have been trained or have worked out or done a sport. Again, I'm not going to pick on Wally, but I'm going to pick on Wally because I know him for a fact. I went to school with him. He was an elite track star. He ran track for many years. But you see him now, he has been training for bodybuilding for the longest time. Now, you have to change the way you train based on what you want. He's not training to be a track star anymore. He's training to be, he wouldn't, I don't think maybe he could, but I don't know if he can be running the same speed he was running way back when, or if not even training or running against elite athletes, because he's changed his whole body's composition to be a certain way. And now I see a lot of people also cheating to get the results that people are getting. A lot of people will claim that they've lost a certain amount of weight, but they've had surgery, right? Or they had the gastric bypass, or they had this removed, they had that removed. And then they show off themselves working out. I'm like, man, we all see that. We all know that's not true. 1 minute you're a certain size, the next minute you're this size. And you said you've been training for years. I get you've been training for years, but again, you're taking a shortcut. Same with the Atkins or whatever. If they're just shriveling up and not fine-tune their body, it's just going to hurt them. And I'm scared for people right now because they continue to look for social media for these answers instead of asking a trainer, asking somebody who is like-minded in fitness for the proper techniques. Because again, I can give everybody here a program to do, and it might work for Jules, it might work for Michelle, it might not work for Reggie, it might not work for Wale. So as a personal trainer, you have to go in and fine-tune what works for that person so they get the best results. Because it's not a one-size-fit-all. It's not a one-stop shop type of thing. because what I can probably eat, Jules might not be able to eat, or what Michelle could lift, Josue can't probably lift, like things like that. And that's why it bothers me, again, in the fitness industry. It bothers me because I see everybody's just depending on non-trainers or non-coaches to get their answers. And they'll look at people doing videos, and I'm like, okay, that person's form is horrible. Or this person's not even training to train themselves. They're just trained just to get views. And I mean, it makes our industry look bad, because a lot of people now are getting hurt or complaining that these things don't work, and they start shunning away working out, and they just end up looking horrible. And half these people will just be worse than when they started, and it sucks. I mean, that's why I brought this topic up, because I'm looking at the industry right now, and I'm seeing that a lot of people that have been in the pandemic are trying to get back into shape, and they're going and getting the wrong advice. And I within the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see people passing out, dying, because they're doing the wrong shit, and it's scary because they're depending on the wrong people. That's just me. So again, this was a personal thing for me to talk about, because again, I stopped the training because of the pandemic. A lot of people are very, very, very hesitant for training or going to gyms and so forth. So I said, okay. So now when I reopened and started doing it again, one of my first clients said, oh my gosh, what you told me that I'm doing is working. I wasn't shocked, because they were just going to the gym, doing the same routine over and over and over again, getting nothing. And they were upset at themselves. So it's like, hey, let me help you. I tweaked a few things, and within weeks, they were feeling amazed. Again, newly motivated, getting better results, and feeling that this is working. That's what trainers do, not drinking their freaking calories or their ketones and thinking that's going to magically take off the freaking fat or magically give them freaking biceps. Again, that's just me rambling. It is all right.
Hey, King, just to let you know, Harv and I, we had this conversation years and years ago. I don't know if you remember it. On one of my closest, my best friend, he was a trainer. He owned a gym and the whole nine. And I would see different trainers and stuff. I've seen a lot chase people away from the gym from what they're trying to put people through. With the over pushing, the pushing of the supplements and stuff like that, and it's helping for people, and people didn't have another way answer out of it. Pushing them to a limit when they're first starting, making them so sore. People, your mindset is like, I ain't going back to that gym.
Exactly.
What's the point when they didn't feel good about themselves? So I've seen that aspect of it too.
So it's like it's actually like when I coach football. It's like you have to know your players. There are certain players that you can yell at, and there's some that you have to give a hug to. And that's the exact same way that you have to treat every last one of your clients. You can't just you just can't be so cookie cutter, because that will turn some people off. So
and also too, I think one of the worst shows ever created on TV was Biggest Loser.
Biggest Loser? Hell yeah.
Yeah,
The worst
show.
The worst.
So that kind of set a precedent
But y'all didn't like
on
that.
trainers, and the way because a lot of people that lost weight on that show, almost all of them gained that back as soon as you put them in their regular lifestyle.
But on top of that, when they were going through that process, they've lost so much weight and so fast because it was such a huge, strict workout. They didn't look presentable on TV. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to look like that. I don't want my clients to look like that. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to put you that way? Why not gradually take it on? I mean, I get it. People want to get to the results as fast as possible, but there's a healthy way to do it. There's a smart way to do it, because the minute you do it and your body's not ready for it, your body is smart. Your body will say, shut up. You're going down.
Yeah.
If you're eating too much junk, your body say, hey, shut up. Here's a heart attack. Chill out. Right? If you're lifting too much weight, your body's going to say, shut up. I'll break your arms. Boom. So again, your body's smart. So you gotta train yourself in a way that works for you. Don't be looking at these shows and these models and whatnot. Because again, And I know everybody has ideal bodies they want to look like. For instance, all these Hollywood stars, their job is to look good for their movie, so they can train the way they want to train with no restrictions. They have the best diets in the world because they have the time and the money to pay for that. You got to stay in your lane. You got to stay in your lane. You got to know what you can do.
And they don't get
if you go out of that, who knows? Some people
so I think the biggest thing is that people don't understand that being fit is actually subjective. So
100%.
if you are
100%,
I mean, I like there's guys out there like myself. Like I've actually run three half marathons. I am not built to run a half marathon, but someone can say this person's fit, but I guarantee they can't run a mile. So being fit is very subjective. And unfortunately, when it comes to social media, everyone just has blinders on what they think is fit. You think fit is having like a six pack. Well, you don't know whether that guy got that six pack through surgery or he's actually in shape. Or, you know, as long as you are, to me, more fit than you were a week before, then continue that path. That's my thought process.
Yeah.
Wait, you get a six pack through surgery?
I can draw one on there. Right, I can draw one right now if you want. I got a marker.
Right.
Yeah, it's called a tummy tuck. It's called a tummy tuck, and they go in there and they cut your muscles, and then they sew them back. They sew them back, and then.
And the dangerous thing is, again, as I told you, your body knows. So if you cheated your body and you did something like that, and your body goes and says, "Hey, we want to eat the way we want to eat," your body's going to reject all of that you've done and either hurt you even more or put you back to where you started.
That's why so many of these girls that get the butt lifts end up in a hospital within 6 months because the fat that they've taken from somewhere and put it somewhere else, their body doesn't understand that that's there,
it's not,
and then it rejects it.
Women, though. It's not even just women, though. Have you seen
the
videos?
I didn't say women.
Of guys that are in, like, I think they're in, most of them are, I think, East Indian or Pakistani, and they're injecting
the oil.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And you see these guys, you know, posing like they've worked out for years. But then I saw one time where one of them popped and it was just a huge fluid of goo hanging around his bicep. I'm like, you see what happens?
Yeah.
You see what happens? That's horrible. That's just karma. But again, I don't wish that on anybody. That's why I've come out here to say, hey, you know what? Know your body, know your limits, and train properly. There is no race for health. Oh, I mean, in due process, the doctors and all those people in your life that see you, they might tell you, hey, get on this now, or you won't be able to live until whatever. That's your cue to say, all right, let me do it. No one says you have to go run a half marathon if you can't. No one says you got to go, do a mud hero, race if you're not ready for it. No, do you and stay in your lane. Because if you don't, you're going to hurt yourself and you might not live till Regan, whatever age you want. That's just my point of views. Anyways. All right. We've kicked that one up a notch, and we've all said our piece. Let's get to topic number 2. And I think I have a banner for number 2. Yes, here is the topic here. I guess it's basically. I don't know. I can't type for some reason.
You need one of those rolling scrolling things like some other content creators have.
You know how you wanted to scroll, eh? Is that what you're saying? You said you wanted to scroll.
Don't do that too. Don't do that.
Come on now. Oh, he said, you don't want to test me. I'm the beast. I got ready to go.
He's gonna do his Jerry Springer thing.
Hey, you want me to do
boy.
I can set up my final thought right now. Jerry's a judge now. Do you know that? Jerry's a judge. He has a show. He's a judge. I didn't know that.
He lives in Sarasota, so he lives pretty close to us.
Anything out there. You could be anything up in Sarasota.
You can do anything in
That's
Florida.
the States. But anyways,
I ran into Jerry Springer one time at a Tampa Bay Rays game. He was just there, and me and my roommate at the time, we were standing in line, we're walking around, and we're like, "Is that Jerry Springer?" And sure enough, he was, and we took a picture with him. So he seems like good people. So
okay. Again,
my little Jerry Springer story there.
There's a lot of people in entertainment that are really not big outside of their box in their TV world. When they're out there, they're just normal people. I mean, just like I don't know, guys like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves takes the bus when he's filming things here. He says he just takes public transit around. People see him, they notice him, they'll take a few pictures, but a lot of people, because of who he is, he doesn't take care of the flash, or he doesn't care for the flash and just goes on his business. I guess Jerry Springer is the same way. I don't think he was commanding an audience like other high-profile people.
No.
But again, so yeah, the second part was about the world of dating, and this was a hot topic because Jules loves to talk about dating. I don't know why. He wants to keep on talking about dating. Because,
Hey, I admit I do too. So Jules is not alone here.
Josue has a issue right now. Okay. Josue has he likes starting shit and disappearing. I could just see he says one thing and then he'll just take off and we won't see him again until next week.
I'm right here right now, so ain't no disappearing tonight.
All right. So we're talking about dating as a single parent. Now, there's two sides, because I was talking to Jules about this before, and he says, yeah. I said, Jules, you can't talk about this. You got no kids. He says, wait a minute. Yes, I can, because I've dated people who have kids. So I'm like, okay. I guess, Jules, why don't you set up the whole conversation? Because you brought this up for people on Facebook. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that I think it's hard enough to date now in 2022. But I always wondered if it's harder to date as a single parent, or is it hard to date a single parent? There's a difference, because I would be the person dating a single parent. But I met Michelle through like a friends group, the same thing as Josue. Obviously, I know my brother. He's been married probably like 30 times. So
Yeah.
Emotional damage.
and I also know that Nick has kids. Tuna, you have kids. I'm sorry, Wale, I have no idea whether you.
Yeah, I don't have any kids.
Okay, but would you date a woman that has kids?
The person that I'm currently dating, she has kids.
Okay,
she has a child, just one.
Okay. I think it's, for me, I think it's harder because I am of a certain age, that dating people that have young kids is just harder for me. It's, the time that needs to go toward you being a parent always comes first, and then I would be second or third or fourth or whatever, but I don't think people understand, the people that don't have kids, how hard it is for them to date people that do have kids. But everyone else has kids. So, and I believe everyone's single. I'm not positive, but I always wonder how hard it is to date when you have kids. We can start with the young lady first.
Yeah, let's start with Michelle.
She's like, oh no.
Oh, see the mic. See these Apple phones. I tell you, they don't even work right
now. We can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Michelle.
What happens when Apple just don't work with you? It's okay. I'll send you an Android. It's there. I'll send you an Android phone. It's all right.
Shoot, send me a new phone.
Oh, you set up. I gave you a computer and look at you. You can't even set that up properly. Get out of here. Anyways,
tell me to buy the wrong
back. I want to touch base. People saying that dating dating in general is hard. That's across the board. The only thing that I say is that oh, Michelle is
there
back.
you go. You're back.
Well, I reset it to see if it works now.
Yep.
You're good.
So okay, here, Michelle, go ahead. Jules asked about your input.
I was gonna say with the dating thing, it's like, so when my kids were young, it was really hard because you're trying to find a babysitter. You're bringing your kids with you on dates. It's very difficult. And
Wait,
then as
what?
your kids, huh?
Yeah, she brought kids on dates.
I did.
That's a real OG right there. I gave her all the ratings. Oh, yo, I She said, "Hey, you want to date me, Lucius? Come here, boy."
I had my son when I was 19. So when I was dating, I was young. So I'm like, I got money to be having babysitters. Oh, you want to go on a date? Sure, my son, he's coming too. That's just
you heard that, people.
Yeah, that's a true story. I've experienced that too. The lady brought her kid with her to the date. She said she didn't have a babysitter, so that's happened to me too.
Now, again, the way you work it though is how it kind of can make or break the date, right? So if you have a plan that is a fun date that incorporates that person interacting with your child, great. But if it's just baggage, of course the person's going to be annoyed because you have to now turn your attention, like Joel said, to someone else when your real attention is supposed to be with someone that is on your date. So I get that, but again, big ups to everybody who brings their children on a date because I don't go out on dates. I invite people to hang out, and again, on my days off, I have my child. Now, if someone wants to see me and I have my child, I tell them, hey, it's my weekend with my daughter. She's gonna be here. We ain't gonna do no hanky panky stuff. We're here. We can have fun, watch a movie, have dinner, whatever. Just know that when I do have time for myself, yes, I'll make some time to go out and have some fun with you for sure. But know that the responsibility is there. You have to make it work. That's why I said it's not difficult as a single parent to date. You just have to know your limits. You gotta know your threshold pretty much. Isn't that right, Michelle? You gotta know your stuff. Hello? Everybody?
Michelle? Uh-oh, your mic's gone again.
iPhone. Listen, let me get your number so I can send you a phone real quick. Hold on.
I was gonna say real quick. Speaking of limits, so what's the limit on how many kids you can bring on a date? So what if the person has like 2, 3, 4 kids?
I'm not paying.
You bring all the kids on the date?
I am not paying for the Jacksons or
now hold on. This is the thing though. If you know who you're dating, if you know they have a bag of kids, you know what to expect. Whether they're there now or later, you know that you're going to be into someone's life who have 3 or 4 kids. So don't be surprised if they're bringing 3 or 4 kids to this date. You're gonna know that before you get to that point. If you don't know that, then you've been told a lie.
So here's the thing.
You've been hoodwinked.
And my question is this: like, do you do that on the first date? Is there a conversation? Is there a conversation that says, "I don't have a babysitter. This is our first date. I'm bringing my child," or do you just show up with the kid and?
Oh, I honestly think you
gotta have to have a conversation.
Yeah, you gotta have that conversation because you're popping up with a whole bunch of kids when you're supposed to be doing something else. That's not fair to the person who actually was anticipating you and them, right?
Because we had that conversation before we went on the date, but the only problem was the little boy. He was 2, or maybe 3, but the little boy was rolling on the floor while we were having dinner. So it was a whole bunch of just distractions, So that was the only bad thing. I mean, if it wasn't for that, I think it would have been cool. But we had a discussion before she came on the date, so I knew she was bringing the boy. Yeah, I just didn't expect him to be doing all the antics and all the extra stuff.
That's because you don't have kids to know that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I didn't know.
So me knowing I have kids now, and I see my daughter decide to take off her stuff and just throw it away, I know what to expect. So I stopped that before. Give it that look. Africans have that look. They know what's up. They know what's up. Yep.
So was that more of a turn on or turn off when you saw the child rolling around on the floor and doing all this other stuff?
But you have to understand it's not the date's fault though. It's not the person you're dating's fault. It's the child.
But they're a package, right? So
Right?
yeah, so that's how you got to look at it.
You got to accept it.
Okay.
You got to, yeah.
All right. So, how soon is too soon to meet someone's child?
Well, I'll start off by answering that. For me, you're not meeting my son until we are pretty damn serious, like to a point where we're in a serious relationship. We've been together for a good minute, and I value you as someone that I see a future with, and obviously my son is my future, so my present and my future. So I mean, you're gonna have to come in and be that person to be like, okay, I'm allowing you to meet my child, and and see how my world as a dad is. So I'm bringing you in. You gotta be on point. You gotta be serious.
Okay. Well, Nicholas, you have kids with someone else. How about you?
Okay, so if we're talking about the dating side of things, I haven't really had any. With that being said, most of the people a lot of people have kids. So I mean, in my dating world, most people I date have kids already too. You know what I mean? If I run into some people that don't have kids, well, I mean, I always, the thing about me is that like I keep my private life and my kids, like my personal life, separate from my dating life, really. So like when I work and I have my kids, and then when I have free time, I'm talking with people. That's my my like that's my my free time thing, and I'll set up something. I'll hang out. We'll have but I really don't have to. I've been separated from my baby mother for about 8 years or whatever. So in that time, I've pretty much just been living my my best life of like just working, grinding, trying to grow, being a good father. And I've been dating, but I'm always really honest with people that I believe that like a community type of relationships, it takes a certain something, and if I can't offer that to you, I'm going to be upfront at the beginning. And I have always had respect because I'm always honest and real, and I believe in just have communication. And so with that, I have a lot of like quality friends that that like not a lot, but like maybe two or three that for just dating like that. They have someone has the other one has a few kids, and I haven't ever had a problem. And in between there, you know what I mean. I've dabbled with like polyamorous relationships with two girls at the same, like all that, and like what I mean.
Whoa! So don't you see this? You just slipped that in real quick, like no one's gonna know. Saying you dating two girls at the same time and no one had no issues.
Look, one of my friends that I think person that have a sexual relationship was we were talking, but I'll keep it real. So I was talking about her another one that is also a quality person and that has, we have a good sexual relationship. And I said they both like girls too. And I was like, I think that you guys would like each other. And they pushed it to each other, and it comes out, hit it off, and we just all hung out and have fun.
My man.
Did you hear this? Did you hear this? Did you hear this?
That's what's up.
But when I say all that is like saying that, like, I keep my kids are not gonna meet most people. Like if they meet somebody, it'll be like, hey, that's my friend. I introduce them like that. I'm not, because I'm like I said, I'm not gonna introduce anybody as my girlfriend or anything like that, because it's not something that I'm in the market for right now. You know what I mean? Like a girlfriend, a marriage. I did that whole thing, and it was the worst time of my life, and I'm living my best life right now. So I don't feel like it works for me. But I believe that there's multiple ways to skin a cat, like they say, right? You know what I mean? I think that you got to find out what works for you in life. You know what I mean? And then that's how it is. I think that works for people. I think marriage works for people. I think just being, single works. Like there's something that works for everybody. And I just found what works for me. And the thing is that some people frown upon it because of their beliefs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I always say this: if there's nothing, there's no negative energy coming from that at all whatsoever. If I'm like a positive spot in your life, or you're a positive spot in my life, then what's the problem? At the end of the day.
So you found a way to skin two cats.
But, hey man, pimping ain't easy. It's all right.
Okay. So all right. So all right. So is there a certain age range? So is there a certain age range where you expect people to have kids?
To be honest with you, it's probably less. There's probably a minority of people that are in their late 30s and 40s that don't have kids. There's probably, I would say that. I would probably say, I don't know if it's a fact or not, but I would bet, put money on that. That's probably a fact. You know what I mean? I'll put money on that. So like, if you're a little bit older, I probably expect that you have kids. Probably not even in the house anymore, but you know what I mean? You know, you probably had kids, but now, I mean, you know, I don't like. I just come into a situation usually, and then I learn, you know, what your situation is. You know what I mean? I don't prejudge neither. So it doesn't mean because you're 40 years old, you have to have kids. But from my experience, most people that are in their late 30s or in their 40s have kids. You know what I mean?
So, Michelle, your daughter's a teenager, right? I can't hear you.
Throw the phone away. Throw the phone away. Michelle,
Send
throw the
the
phone
phone,
away.
man. Go ahead and send the phone.
See if you have headphones that you could connect to, because that may be an issue. So the I guess the question that I was going to ask her is, for a young lady that has, I think she has a teenager. I'm almost positive. I really don't know. When is it okay for that man to meet her teenager?
Well, a teenager is a totally different concept. There's a different mindset, right? So you have to kind of tread carefully when you're introduced, because again, hormones and thought processes is in play right there, right? Because again, I was going to say I have a 3-year-old who actually turned 4 today, so my daughter's 4, but she won't know anything. She won't know any of that stuff. So if I bring someone around, it's just daddy's friend, right? I don't do anything in front of her to make things weird, but at the same time, it's just a friend. Now, if you jump over, 10 years and she's 14 and I bring someone around, then you have to be really cautious about, who is around in her life, because again, that adds to influences, that there's learned behavior that they might see if they're around the wrong type of person. You have to consider all the things that this person that you're bringing into your now teenage daughter's life can affect, your upbringing or her upbringing for the future. Because I mean, I'm a person who doesn't smoke, right? Say if a person that I'm dating all of a sudden starts smoking or whatever, I don't, you gotta. It's a very, very, very slippery slope when it comes to teenagers and beyond, because again, they have the mind to take what they see and run with it. That's just my point of view.
Can I add a point of view on? Like,
Yeah.
I have myself, I'm kind of talking like a friend now. Yeah, 6 kids.
Mhm.
But she's also from another country, but so it's more prevalent like when she was young, and she's kind of getting out of her cultural like stereotypes and everything like that, and kind of expanding her mind in the way she does things and how she thinks in life and whatever. But an example is that we're just still only considering each other friends, whatever, and we date or whatever. But she has 20s, one that's like in their like I think maybe 19, and then 2 that are like 15 and 16. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of teens. They've already had to know who I am, only because she goes out, we go out, and if she would drinking, she stays the night or something like that. She can't, she wants to set a good example to her girls, not just like make them think like whatever. She's just out hanging. So she's had to like mention who I am, because they're they're like it's an interrogation when she gets home. You know what I mean? Because she has all this. With that being said, she's told them like who I am. You know what I mean? Only because they know that she's not going out with some stranger, some weirdo or some shit like that. And so they've already investigated my social medias and everything, and they've already gave their approval. Like, okay, he's not a serial killer or at least not that in that situation, because they're smart, they're adults. You know what I mean? They're gonna ask questions. They're gonna notice that if you go out and you do something different than your routine, you might not have to introduce them in person, but you might have to introduce who they are, just the thought of who they are. You know what I mean? Just so your kids are not thinking that you're just running the streets or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. So now if they say, "Hey, what you doing?" They're like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, I'm out going out with Nick," and they're like, oh, "Okay, cool."
Got you.
There's a comment for you, Jules, if you don't mind me stopping here, because I mean I have people who are watching are a bit shy in terms of commenting, but here's the comment I got here. See here. Why does your co-host think he would be put second, third, or fourth in the eyes of a woman he would date. For example, if I would fall in love with a man, he would be priority. Yes, of course, I have kids. Kids would be blah blah. The love for your kids different than the love for a partner. So why do you think? Why do you think you would be put? Why do you think you would be put second? Or why?
Because the majority of women that I meet, the first thing they say is my kids are priority one. And that's from a woman's point of view, because I'm replaceable, her kids are not. So
that part.
I go toward the back. Not saying that I am in the back, but the kids are always going to be priority number one. And I don't have a problem with that.
Right. So my problem is, why would somebody have to state that?
Just like women say, I'm independent. I'm
Don't start. You want to stay on the air, bro. You want to stand there. You want to start some shit that I ain't ready to finish. But okay, I get it.
It's just stuff that people. It's just things that people.
Tools alone. Okay.
No, it's just things. It's just the things that women put in their profile. I have this amount of kids. I have a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old. They are priority number one. I don't need a man. I want a man. So that tells you where you fall in the list of priorities.
Okay. So what you're saying?
Can I add to that real quick too?
Yeah. Go on, Wally.
Okay. So when I was dating the single mom, I think it all depends on the time you come into that person's life, right? So obviously they're gonna put the kid first. You gotta understand. You gotta know if they have a good relationship with the father of the child.
Of course.
Now, depending on how old that child is, it changes a lot of things, because the father would be in the relationship more often than none. If she's older, then you probably don't have to worry about that. So now you got the kid, you got the child's dad. If she's trying to make ends meet and she's, working a lot, you got to worry about the job. She may be still going to school, trying to get a better job. So that's 4 things that she's already dealing with. And then you come in the picture. So now you're potentially number 5 on the list. Correct. So, I mean, it all depends on what time you come into their life and what's going on. I think that plays a huge factor in the whole situation.
Okay, but are you trying to strive to be number one though? I mean, you have
to kind of. I mean, obviously that's the goal. I mean, that's the goal, and she may play it off as like, okay, yeah, you are number one, but as soon as, again, depending on how the relationship is with the father of the child, if something just happens and they disagree on something, you're going to be the last one to be like, I'm not worried about you. I got to do all this stuff and everything. So depending on where you're at and what you're trying to do in life, you're going to be like, okay, well, I can't handle this situation. I need to go find someone else who is invested as much as I am, so because you can't always be the odd man out when things are not going well,
Okay, that makes sense. So you as the person going into the relationship have to have an understanding that you might not be the top priority.
Absolutely.
Going in,
yes.
Be number one.
Yeah.
So if that's your mentality, you should have no problems dating a woman or a partner with a parent. With a child. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So once your mindset is shifted in a way that you should understand where you fit on that totem pole, you should be okay. Don't be trying to strive for number one when you know that person has 3 kids, an ex-husband, and a dog.
Yeah.
So I think for some reason the dog takes priority. I don't know why. That's another thing. Hey, Jules, have you noticed? Like, Jules, have you noticed? There's a lot of women on social media or on these dating sites that have pictures of dogs. Have you noticed? Dogs and fish.
Because they can't find a man.
You see it? Or like that's all you do. That's all you see on dating apps. I'm like, come on, man. I'm not here to try to date your dog. And I'm glad you can feed yourself with some fish. But I don't want to see that on a dating app. That's just my point.
So I just think the priority level, number one, just like you said, like it depends on what type of relationship the other parent is in their own relationship where you will fall, because you can obviously move from 5 to 1 if that other parent helps out. But if it's a single mother that's doing everything by herself, you will continue to fall into she's ready to move you up. I can't just move myself up. I can't say, hey, I'm number one. You got to do something with these kids. It's she puts you in your position when it comes to priority wise.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them say it off the bat where your position is from the beginning.
Yeah, I think that basically what I get from, and I understand it like from Wale and from Jules, of like the priority thing is just about the time that they have for you, basically. And so, you know what I mean? Like what you were saying about the love is different from the parent, I mean, from like your partner and your kids. Yeah, that's not the point what Jules was making about the love. It's about the time that you have for somebody. So, which in essence is why I think it works for me, is because I'm not really looking for a lot of time. I'm just looking for, you know, moments in time where, you know, we can get some free time and hang out, you know what I mean? And have quality time, and then
I know what
go
you're
back to
looking
being
for.
professional. And so that's why it works for me, because I like
he's looking for that
what
number
works for
3.
me is that I perfected like what people normally have, which is to give is a little bit of time, quality time, but then after that they're usually busy. So if that's good enough for me, then I'm not disappointed.
Hey girl, you busy? That's okay. I'm gonna go to my next chick. Yo, Betty, I'm coming over.
It's all about having options. Having options. There you go.
Michelle, I'm not even saying it like that. Like I don't just go around. Like I don't gotta just like a bunch of hoes or anything. I'm saying that like what I'm saying is that like even if it's just one person I'm talking to or going out with, just in that like for so many months or whatever, I only have so much time to give anyways myself. And so I hope that they can understand that. In essence, I have that complete understanding because I'm very open, like I'm very lax person. So all that I can ask from them is just whenever they do have free time and I have free time and we get, you know, we say, okay, we're gonna hang out, we just make it quality time. We go do something, like we go do something we haven't done before. We go on a vacation, we go out of state, we go over here, we do this, we do quality things. So we're living life, but we're also in the, you know what I mean? The thing is that people always want to work, you know, and they never live life, and you know, they say they don't have time for shit. Well, I found a way to be able to be in that work, be a father, and also have free time to get my little romance in, and you know what I'm saying, go and, you know, enjoy life, and then not have to worry about like the stressful parts of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not worried about all your time. I'm just worried about a little bit of quality time, which anybody can always make time if they want to.
Okay, so I have a question, and we're talking about time. If you are now interested in someone, and you have the time, and they have the time, and they don't make you a priority, even though they say they want to be with you, what type of energy is that? Like what do you
Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. For me, I always give the same energy I receive. That's what I tell people. So like,
okay, but you're a man though. You're a man.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm saying I am a man, but I'm like, the thing about me is I'll say like this. I grew up in the Latino community, so I grew up real machismo, but I grew up more close to my grandma and my mom. So I have and I also used to, like, I put it like this, a funny story. My last name begins with a Z. So when I was in elementary school, I was in the back of the line. Every time I came out, all my homies were always sitting together at the table. I had to sit with females all the time. So what I did was I listened, I learned, you know, So I have a different, like I have a different feeling than just that machismo feeling of like a man. So I don't look at it like that. I look at it from both points of view. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I talk. I have open communication with people, with females. Like I believe in, like, I'm not the type of person that's shy about any kind of conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, you know, we could talk about. So I like information. I like to learn, and the best person to learn from is the person that knows. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like if they want to ask me a question about a man, I'm the one that's gonna know more than I'm gonna know about a female. But I ask plenty of females questions, so I learn.
Okay, so you're saying you've learned over the years, you've learned about women through other women.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is kind of off topic, but now you have possibly a lot of female friends.
Yes.
Okay, now when you start dating, or you are interested with somebody, if you wanted to get serious, is that a deciding factor when it comes to someone you're dating? Because a lot of women tend to feel intimidated that you have a lot of female friends that you talk to. Is that a problem for you?
It's not for me, because I mean I haven't seen it's a problem, because I'll be honest with it up front, and if it's a problem, then we probably don't talk much more after that. So it's not really a problem, you know.
Okay. I just wanted to know.
Yeah, like I haven't run into it where it's been a problem. Like I haven't had any problem with it, but every once in a while, yeah, somebody might not, you know, might feel intimidated, and they might just stop talking to me. They won't say it up front. Most people, you'll like I can lay out a whole story. Like I'll come and we'll meet the first day, and I'll tell you exactly how I think, what my mind is, what to expect, all this. And some people be like, yeah, it sounds so great, da, da. And then they can't keep. But I'm one of the most consistent persons I know. Like I will never lose consistency. I could tell you like, hey, we could be friends from here to forever, whatever. And the same person will be like, yeah, that sounds good. And then halfway down the line, they'll be like, I don't know, I'm getting too attached, like this and that. I don't think I want to talk to him no more. And I'll be like, okay, I understand, out of respect, I'll never drag somebody along. I'll just stop. Because they ask, I'll just keep contact and life goes on. This is what it is. You know what I mean? But out of respect for that person.
Keep contact with them though?
Huh?
You keep contact, just not
if they don't want me to. If they say they need me to give them space, I'm never gonna, until they message me back or something like that, I'm gonna give them that space because I'm not trying to trap them, trick them. I'm not a player. I can't be a player if I'm being honest. Like I'm not playing no games. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. I don't play games. I just keep it real. I don't have time for games or drama. So, you know what I'm saying? I always bring that at the beginning. And for that reason, like I feel like I don't have any, even the way I live and all that, like I can't think of one person that could have a negative experience with me that they could say something negative about me because of. At the end of the day, it's respect because of. It's hard to find somebody that's honest and real, almost on every subject that there is. You know what I mean?
So, do you think that when it has it changed over years? And I'm not saying just with you, Nick. Do you think that single mothers in the 70s and 80s look at things differently than the 2000s, 2020s when it comes to priority and when it comes to dating people with kids? Because I gotta tell you what, there's not going to be like a million Pete Davidsons out there that want to date someone that has 5 kids. So have things changed?
But look at the role models out there. That's what people build off of, what they see. Again, social media has changed the way this world works. So you might be able to have 5 kids and still pull it off just because they know that somebody else can do it. On the other side, there's a person that might see someone who can't do it with 5 kids and just keep themselves away and isolate themselves. It all depends on what they see. It's all their perception. That's what it is. There's perception.
Everything by both subjects we were talking about in life, everything, like whether it was the fitness or whether everybody's life, journey in life is different. To be honest with you, like just like we we're talking about the working out, like the body types are different. What works for you. It's because, like I always tell people, at the end of the, your journey is not my journey. It's all different. So even in this, some things work for some people and they don't work for others. You know what I mean? It's just you got to figure out. You just got to learn yourself and figure out what works for you. Really, at the end of the day. And on Jules' question, I really don't know because I wasn't around in the 70s, so I don't really know how it was.
Okay.
But I would say,
okay. Did he slip a jab in there? Did he say you old, boy? He said you old. Yo, let me give him his flowers.
Let me.
What I was trying to say was that let me finish my point because I don't mean to offend you. I wasn't trying to offend you. I wasn't trying to call you up. What I was trying to say was that but I would assume that yes, it has changed because society's point of view in the world has changed. Like people are more open to things. People are and people have more information at the tip of their fingertips more than ever. So people like you said, they see things differently, or like they're able to see a different perspective than they might not have even thought of. Because the thing about perspective is that you can't have it unless you live it. You know what I mean? Like you can have a perspective, but if you've never seen another perspective, you might not be able to get out of what you were taught. And like that's why people, what they say, become a victim of their environment or like product of their environment or like whatever household you grew up in. Like because if you're shut, like if you're only in that circle and that's all you ever, the values that are ever put into you, that's how you're gonna always think. But when you're put onto the whole world at the age of 4 years old, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a way broader understanding of perspective of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking of it more on the way that women now are more, I would say, powerful than they were 70s, 80s, 90s, 20. So
how much power they have, you mean? They've always had the power.
Correct.
It's just how
they just didn't get it. That's
society was giving it to them.
Exactly.
So,
right. So that's why I was saying 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. They're
Women have more power and more freedom than they ever have in time.
But they also have more responsibilities, and with those more responsibilities pushes you to the priority toward the back, is what I'm saying. So anyone that's asked, Michelle is not dating. She just goes out to meet friends for now.
That's what, again. I think again, social media is pretty much dictated how people are running their lives now, with the whole independent woman thing, with the whole dating side dating side of things, with the whole fitness thing. Everything is what people see is what they go by. So if you're going to be following their Kardashians for whatever reason, you're going to fall into that mix of how they live their life and thinking that's the norm, right? Yes, we have a broad.
Yeah, go ahead. Unfortunately, people just aren't doing their research when it comes to the fitness part, or when it comes to the dating world.
People are lazy. Look how easy social media has made it easy to be doing anything. Dating, we have dating apps. You don't have to even go out to meet some. You can click a button and you have a video chat. That's your date virtually. For fitness apps, you have fitness apps that you can do anything on to get it. Life has been so handed to us now that we don't know how to freaking react anymore. We don't know how to live our lives anymore. Back in the 80s, you would go outside to play. Now you can sit on a computer all day and play.
Nick wasn't around in the 80s to go outside and play.
I was born in 85.
I knew he was butthurt. See, I knew he was butthurt. See, you heard him. You heard his feeling. Good job. Heard his feeling.
So the question is, since you're not dating now, Michelle, why? What would make you start dating? Her mic isn't working, so we're reading what she's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's so many.
I would love to hear her
faking their lives. I don't even know who to trust or who's real. Dating in the 70s, 80s wasn't that thorough. Wasn't that through the love ads? I don't know what that means.
It was through the love ads. I mean, dating back in the day was from those ads. Those numbers that you'd call 1-800.
The back of the newspaper. That little corner in the newspapers.
Yeah, those love chats. And you call on the phone, you'd be talking, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" I'm doing all right. How you doing? Well, for $9.99, we can go on a nice date.
You sound like you put that credit card in.
I've been making that money, all right. I've been making that money.
Advantage of those opportunities right there.
I've been making that money, all right. I know how to swindle the peoples, all right. I have a voice.
All right, so let me talk to my OG. Even though your kids are older now, is it just as hard to date? Because I think Nate's 21?
Yeah, Nate's 21. Junior be 30 coming up soon. So,
all right.
I guess I'm in the same predicament that you are, somewhat. That it is difficult, if they're younger, especially the focus on where the affection is going to go, where the time's going to go, and things of that nature. So you try to avoid it, being in that situation. It's probably not fair to either party, but my life is set in a certain way, looking for a certain person, spend a certain amount of time with. So that's what I'm gearing myself to look for. If you have that young extra baggage, it's going to take a little bit of the interest away.
Now, wait a minute. So you have to understand that you can't call kids baggage anymore.
Yeah, everybody's a little soft these days, man.
That was hit on Nick. You see that? See how the Harveys just pick on you? They say you young. You can't handle it.
I know. I just said you can't.
Ain't talking to me. I
know.
I'm just getting ratings, man.
I don't believe in participation trophies. I'll break them shit. I don't know.
So are women,
there you go.
So are women saying now calling kids baggage is an insult? This is new to me.
Absolutely, it's an insult.
It
should be an insult for a man as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's an insult because
I don't think anyone's kids should be called baggage.
Yeah, It's an insult to me because I tell people like my baggage is shit. You'll be lucky if you ever even fucking meet my child. How is it gonna be baggage? It's not your baggage, so
It's
don't
an
worry about it.
expression. It's not an insult.
Oh no,
Right. I think it was more of an expression as well.
It's an old school expression, but again, society has changed. It's now 2022, and if you sneeze on somebody, you probably go to jail. So you never know. So
I know. I deal with it every day. I hurt a lot of people's feelings, man.
Yeah,
Even
I
grown
know,
adults
because,
anymore.
I know because back in the day, men couldn't wear pink shirts.
See what he did? You see what he did? That's all right. That's all right with you, J.Harv.
No. You insulted him a little bit.
He's just hating because he can't handle fuchsia. All right, he can't handle fuchsia. Shoot.
Right. So I think I actually think Michelle's probably on the same page as I am. She said, I'm just trying to get my daughter through high school with positive vibes and not really focus on all the drama that usually happens with dating. But we'll go out, have a beer, have conversation with males, but it has to be super special to make that relationship.
But the thing is that here's the thing is that she's making the effort to go out. Yeah, that's great. That's how you do things, because you are actually putting yourself out there, not necessarily looking for love, but you're just putting yourself out there because you can trip over your next, forever just because you're out.
I would like to ask what defines super special. I know she can't really talk, but if she can write in the chat, like what defines super special?
Well, let me ask you the question. What's super special to you?
Because you said the same thing. You said that you won't let anyone you won't introduce someone to your son. What is unless super special?
So someone that's for one that's loyal, one that's very considerate of my situation, and vice versa. I could also be considerate of hers if she has kids as well. Basically, just I guess it's a feeling. You feel that if she's checking all the boxes, everybody has a checklist. If she's checking all the boxes, if she's going above and beyond what you expect, because they say, never have expectations, but let's be real. We all have some sort of expectation when we meet somebody new. You're expecting that person's going to be special, or you expect that person's not going to be a factor in your life. They're in the back of your mind, there's always an expectation. So like with all that, I think that, super special to me is like all of those things. I need, like, you have to check off all the boxes. You have to, go above and beyond your expectations.
Let me
boxes
get
as far
five boxes.
Okay. First of all, she has to be feminine. She has to be, nice, attractive, have a good mindset. Just be someone that's not going, just bring peace, that's,
So
keep it simple.
You're looking for someone that doesn't bring stress into whatever else you already have going on.
Correct.
Just like Michelle said, no drama. Like, all right, so special to her is someone who actually pays attention, not only looking around constantly for the next best thing, down to earth and real. Now, is that hard? Is that hard to find, Michelle?
No.
Because I'm actually probably more like Nick than anyone.
I don't think
I will give you the same amount of energy as you give me.
But again, I can't put myself in that spot because I'm an overachiever. I try to do better than most just because you want to stand out. Sometimes you have to wear a pink shirt to stand out.
Pink shirt, huh? You'll stand out.
Hey, don't hate on the Beast 1000s. All right, those Crocs are legendary. But anyways, because again, most people are okay with average. Like there's this, there's the regular guy who meets them at 100%. But if you go and show 110%, they see the effort and they will see you out of the crowd. That's my mentality. That's been my mentality in school. My parents said, "Hey, if you're hitting 90%, what happened to 95%?" Well, they knows this. We're Nigerians, damn it. You have to strive for the best. If you're not the best, be the best and strive to be the best. So that goes in anything in work, in play, in dating. I try to be better than the others, better than the average. Because if you are better than the average, you will stand out and people will look at you.
So I think the biggest problem is when people like yourself are empaths that will go above and beyond. They're afraid of getting dropped.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that risk of missing the top of getting let go after the fact, because you'll wonder, like myself, I'll wonder what happened, what went wrong, what did I do wrong? So then you start questioning yourself. But again, if you are sound mind, you can pick yourself off and start building yourself back to that level. You might get to 90, get to 80, get to 70, whatever. Just get back to where you want to be, and then go back and start finding who you want to get. That's just me. I mean, Wale,
right, so what about yourself, Wale?
Well, I mean, okay, so on my end, I'm a single guy, so and I'm 40. So a lot of the females that I meet or encounter with, they most likely have a kid or kids, right? I always say that it's one factor that most people don't consider too is the experiences they've had in the past, right? Leading up to the time that you're not coming into the picture. I mean, same goes for me too, right? So if I had an experience, a bad experience with one single mom, all of a sudden the next one that I get, I probably wouldn't give her any chance to show that she's doing her best to make me a priority in her on the list, right? And I think that goes the same too from the other side. Once you meet a person, because you have to remember, the person with the kid is always going to be more flexible. So I don't think there's enough credit for that from the other side. Thinking that, well, this person, guy or girl, is going out of their way to make things work out because I have the child, I have to do this, I have to do that. But that person is always more flexible than the single parent. And I don't think a lot of people dating on the other side give enough credit to that in the whole scheme of things. So you will find out that whenever things are getting too hectic with the single parent, again, like I said earlier, the first person to get the boot is usually the person who's been flexible the whole time and trying to make things work, So that, at least from my experiences, that's what I've
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all had experiences, and you either learn from them or you don't. And now, what I would call baggage is if you bring baggage into a relationship from your old relationship. If you get into a new relationship and you start treating that new man the way that your old man treated you, then that's where it's not fair. Right.
Okay. Well, I have a story for that, but I think Nick has to take his kids to bed. So I mean,
I got to take.
Thank you again, Nick, for popping through.
No, it's my pleasure, guys. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
I like to talk, so you know what I'm saying. Might as well come on and bullshit with you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Here, we'll always be here. Again, we'll definitely post topics for you to chime in on at any time for you to come in and chat with us. You're always welcome for sure.
All right. Yeah. Check y'all out. You have a good night.
Thank you. Now, in terms of what Jules you were saying, and now I lost my train of thought. Now, sorry.
When I was talking about bringing actual baggage.
Yeah. See, you can't avoid the baggage, as you say, because it makes you who you are. So no matter if you had a good relationship or a bad relationship, there still should be building blocks to make you who you are. If you're not learning from those situations, that's on you. So if you continue going into a negative spiral with the next relationship because you're in fear of whatever happened to us, that means you didn't learn from the last situation. So that's, I can understand, that's bringing your baggage, but that same baggage that you bring to the next relationship can keep you from making the same mistakes, both on either side. You know, oh, you were too trusting. Let me let me tone it down and not trust too quickly and not fall too quickly. At the same time, it could be vice versa. Whereas, you know what, I didn't trust enough. Let me open my heart and give them the trust they need to make sure that they know I'm here. So again, that's all part of the individual and how they are trying to live and learn to be a better person in life. That's just to me.
Okay, so it's to me, it's always verbiage, right? So when you say if you're not learning from this quote unquote baggage, I don't know, I don't like that thought process. I don't think it's learning. I think people have a problem with healing. People can't heal from their past baggage. It's not about learning. It's about healing before you get back into something else. That would be the only thing I would say that was different.
So you're saying people need to take the time to heal first before they get into something serious again?
Absolutely. If you can't find yourself, then finding someone else is never going to happen.
Okay, so here's an example. I know there's a few people I know that have dated people that are on dating apps now or dating sites that have come out from horrible relationships, be it marriages or whatever, and they just want to get out there right away. Are you saying that's wrong for them to do that, or should they actually take the time and heal, as you say? Because sometimes sitting behind and not getting themselves out there can fester this whole situation that they had in the first place. So when you say, you know, they should heal, maybe their healing is to go into someone else or to be with someone else. Could that be the process?
I think everyone looks at it differently, but I am a mental health person, as you well know.
Yeah,
I talk about it all the time. So I would say heal before you get back out there. You as an athlete know that you can't be at your best if you're not fully recovered.
True.
And
but as an athlete, there's two things that could happen. You can either play hurt, or you can recoup or get physio from a certain person or a certain doctor or whatever to help you with your process. That's what I'm saying. Somebody could be that help to get you where you want. It doesn't mean they have to be the love of your life, but they could be that help to get you to where you want to be.
But usually that help is usually a bridge. It's like a stepping stone. So I don't know if you ever seen that movie, Good Luck Chuck. Remember the dude? Yeah. So it's something similar to that. So if you find somebody and you help them through that process, you would end up fixing that person for the next person.
Exactly.
And you took in all the hurt, I guess, so to speak. But you're really getting them ready for the next person. Because once they find their value, or after they've healed, then they feel like, oh well, I deserve the world. So I'm going on to the next person. They look at you as
they drop you because you've gotten to where they are, and
that's
they go
usually what happens.
Prince Charming. Good stuff right there, Ollie. That's good stuff.
And unfortunately, if it's not through, like, say, for a male friend, or for a female, a male friend, if they're leaning on their other friends, that's never going to help. Like them. So if you have a boy, like, and he's going through horrible, absolutely horrible relationship, you're going to give him the advice of what you would do.
Correct.
Instead of you saying, hey, listen, you need to settle down and heal before you do anything. that's and I'm sorry, this is probably one of the problems with some other males and females now. They listen to their friends instead of listening to themselves.
This is 100% true. 100%.
So you can't heal me. Unfortunately, you can try, but you can't heal me. But just like Wale said, sometimes that person is your stepping stone for you to understand more about yourself.
Man, it makes you.
That was a good movie too. That was actually a low key good movie.
That makes me think now. I'm like I feel like someone's stepping stone now. Shit. Like what? See, now you just broke me down right now. See, now I'm soft now.
No, but you're
I'm all in my feelings now.
No, but you're an empath. So you're always gonna have feelings.
Okay. So what you guys said about being someone's bridge or their builder or their person that brings them up. What now does that person who was building them up do? Like how do you avoid being that person? How do you know that you're building up another person for someone else? Because you don't. I mean, as much as you think and you
really don't.
Right.
That's a good question.
But you still have to reset. You still got to reset and heal.
But I put all this energy to someone only to be said, "I'm sorry, you're not good enough. I'm gonna go here and find somebody else."
Here's what I think. I think that person also needed to heal, because if you're at that point where you understand yourself, I think you'd be able to see those red flags from in advance. So because you know what makes you happy, you know what you want, you know what you don't want most of all, and you can kind of see like, well, I'm putting all this effort, I'm pouring all this in your cup, but I'm not filling up my cup. At the end of the day, I'm always drained. So I think if you're at a place where you've done the work yourself, you could kind of tell that it's a cycle, that this is happening again, and you'll have that conversation like, hey, look, I don't think you're ready. So I need to go my separate way and let you deal with what you need to deal with. So maybe if you're in a place where you're good and I'm good, then we could revisit this again. But I think you have to do the work too yourself to know, to be able to see that's what you are to that person.
Someone's going to see red flags and be like, I can fix that. I can fix that in her. I can fix that in her. I can fix that in him.
There's a lot of people who did. I mean, I've been that guy before. I mean, I said, hey, you know what? Let me help you build you back up to where you should be so you can be happy. I've been that guy. Yeah. But at the same time, it's, you know, that you're not really taking that anything further than just helping, because if you know that person is already broken, what makes you think they won't break again when you're with them? So again, you have to know who you're dealing with, or know who you're courting, I guess you can say, because it's
sooner or later you got to stop souping up these cars and then selling them to someone else.
That's why you get used lemons.
What?
I was just talking about cars today. See, that just brought it up because again, we were talking about these new cars, the Teslas, the electric cars, and whatnot. They're all fine and shiny and nice and new. And I'm like, you know what? Just give me $1,000 car, Honda Accord. I'll be good. It does the job. Gets you from A to B. You don't need anything extra. No bells and whistles. But now again, circumstances change, and you might have to upgrade. You might have to change your thought process, and you might think that you deserve better. That's the problem.
No. The problem is you didn't think you deserved better from the beginning.
Because you went for the lemon.
You chose a lemon.
Yeah.
So you're saying
chose a lemon.
Yes. That's absolutely right. I agree on that 1,000%.
I'm not going to choose a lemon and then try to make great lemonade out of it. Give me the great lemonade.
Yeah.
Someone's a bit thirsty about lemon martini right now. Someone wants a drink right now. We talk about lemons. She's thirsty right now. Oh gosh. Oh
No,
gosh.
but
Okay. I hear what you're saying.
but that goes. So I'm always going to think about healing, but that also goes into when you're bringing a child into a relationship. If you're not healed, that child is probably not healed. Now you're bringing way more into something that shouldn't be there because you don't know that you're ready.
Okay.
Take a break. I mean, there's nothing wrong with not dating.
Oh, I agree that. I agree 100%. But the thing is, the longer you're out of the game, the longer you miss what's going on out there.
What are you missing?
Again.
Let me tell you what you're missing. You're missing, like, whenever you think about FOMO, is that what it's called? Fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
You're
No, I wasn't saying for me about.
no. I'm saying you. I'm saying
no,
you.
no. What? No, I understand.
You out, Pinky.
No, hold on. What I'm saying is, like, I don't mean a fear of missing out. I'm thinking you're going to be out of touch of things. I guess there's a lot of people who have been through relationships, and because they say they're trying to heal or whatever, they've kept themselves in a little box. Now the world is still moving, it's still passing on, it's still going through, and then you're ready to step into this new box and said, okay, I'm ready. But then you have dating apps and all these speed datings and all these things that you have no idea. So you get overwhelmed. So you go back to your box and you end up staying in that box and you're not happy because you can't catch up to what you've missed. That's what I'm saying. It's not about the fear of missing out. There's people out there that you don't even need to worry about. But the fact that life is passing by so fast, like right now, if you're trying to step into that fast lane, you're getting hit by a bus because you're not ready. You don't know what's out there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you have to understand, there's still someone going to be in that slow lane.
Yeah. There has to be. You're not the only one.
Yeah, there's probably. Go ahead, Molly.
And if you're healed, like, there's a lot of things that's going to be going well for you. Career, networking, all this stuff. You're going to attract the right person. So you don't need to worry about that, because the people that are thinking they're missing out or out of touch or out of those, honestly, to me, that's quiet desperation. Because if you've never been on those apps and you go on there and you're like, now you're, oh, I hope someone swipes on me. No, you don't need to worry about that, because you're in a good place with yourself. And all the abundance and all that stuff will come to you because you're in a good place. That's the whole process of healing. So you can't come out of that and be like, oh, well, I don't know what to do now. No, don't worry about that. All that will fix itself because you're attracting now. You're not desperate anymore.
He watched The Secret. I know he did. Yep, he did.
I think it's more of like the fear of missing out on trying to build a life with somebody, because I think that's what, as humans, we are made in this earth to do, to try and get together and build lives and build for the next generation. I think that's most people's goals in life.
And I think society is not helping with that, because Gary Vee talks about that all the time. Because he tells you, oh, at 20, at 30, you're expected to have it all figured out. No. Nope. A lot of those people who made it, who became successful in life, didn't become successful until they were in their 40s.
Yeah. And then later on, exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
So you're right. We're supposed to. Society has made us think that at a young age we're supposed to have everything figured out, and we have to have everything under control. But at that age is when everything turns upside down. Yeah. We don't know what we're doing. That's true. A lot of us know.
I think life really pretty much starts probably after 30. I mean, that's when you realize, credit, relationships, the job force. Again, a lot of people, they've been going to school for the longest time, and they don't realize life doesn't start until you're, actually out there in the world by yourself. Some people are still living at home at age 25, 26, right? Some people still have the same job at 23, 24, right? Some people are in school, they've never had a job, right? So you're right. I 100% agree that life does start, honestly, when you hit a certain age in your life, because again, what they present to the world about how, you know, after high school, go to college or go to university, and all of a sudden you're going to the world and you're making this money. That's not reality anymore, because they don't tell you the bumps, they don't tell you the bruises, they tell you the failures that you have. They don't tell you about bankruptcy and bad credit. They don't tell you about breakups and mental health issues, all those suicides and deaths in the family. All those things can change your mindset for you to reset and refocus. So yes, I 100% agree with what you're saying, Wale, about that, because life is precious, and a lot of people are rushing to get to this finish line when they really haven't even started the race yet. You know what I'm saying? You got to start that race first. So
I always talk about healing, and that's the only way to get into anything, is to first make sure you're ready for it and make sure that you're open for it. But
so here's my question about that. How do you know if you're healed?
Only you will know.
What makes you think that, okay, I'm healed, I'm ready to go, like, let's do this? And then you get into a relationship, then somehow along the way, you know, something makes you think that, oh shit, I wasn't ready for this. And then, like, you know, you start to, you know, get in that mindset of, okay, maybe I still need to work on things. Maybe I still need to fix what I thought I fixed. Maybe it's not fixed yet.
Okay. Well, there's nothing wrong with sitting down.
I think it's just dipping your toe into the world. Really, don't just jump in feet first and think you're all ready to go. I think you just take a break. I was to take a step in, see what's around, and if you feel that you are confident to proceed and continue, then yeah, by all means. No one's going to say it's perfect, and you're going to know 100% that you're healed until you'll know you're healed, right? So you might get a few bumps and bruises again on the way out, but again, only you will know. Only you will know.
So do you have any sisters, Josue?
Yes, I have 3 older sisters. I'm the youngest.
All right. So do you ever talk to them?
One sister I talk to a lot. She is deceased. So unfortunately, I came to her for a lot of things, because that's the one sister I actually grew up with in the house. My other 2 sisters, I didn't really grow up in the house since I'm the youngest, and you know, both my older sisters were like already teenagers by the time I was like a little kid. Mm-hmm. So they were and you know, they're from separate. My dad had children from outside of his marriage, so I didn't really like get to know my other sisters that well. So we don't really speak often. So
all right. So I would first find a real good female friend, and not be her friend with hopes of dating, but someone that you can actually talk to. She's going to give you the real about everything. She's going to say, well, this is what I think is wrong. This is what I think is right. And then you have to be open to listening to any
criticism,
any advice at all. But like it actually has to be a friend. It has to be someone that gives you the same energy as you give her as a friend.
I try to befriend you know, women that could just be friends with, but it just turns out that, you know, when we do talk and when we do sit down and have discussions, you know, not saying all the time, but like most of the time, it just turns into arguments, or it just turns into, you know, one of us not speaking to each other anymore. So like that friendship is, as you know, I've gone down the road for some reason. So I mean, it's not for lack of effort. I know that.
I honestly think I was in the same boat. I think it's stubbornness, because we're stuck in our ways. I've gone through the same process, and I've tried to have
Oh, I'm very stubborn. I'm a Taurus, and we are very stubborn.
And I'm an Aries. Trust me, I understand. What I'm saying is, though, you have to now take a step back and accept. And this is what I've done. I've taken a step back and I've accepted other people's points of view, not because it's going to damage me, but it's going to help me be a better person. So maybe a person thinks you're super aggressive. So you have to take that into consideration. Maybe people think you're super cocky or too confident. Sometimes you have to understand that this is all about love. It's not about bashing you down. It's kind of showing you what other people see in you. So when you actually take an objective point of view from that, you will then become a better person. And then things like Wally said, things will just happen. When you see things actually for what they are, the puzzle pieces connect, and all of a sudden that big picture comes and you see everything. You're like, oh, this is what I was missing, or this is how I was, or this is, the next big thing for me. So, I mean, it's just a matter of just stepping back, swallowing some pride, and listening to someone who you may not think is right, but probably is right. And just take it in. That's just me.
And that's the part you asked the question, how do you know when you've healed? And that's the answer right there. You don't get triggered by certain things that you see or you talk about, because somebody who's at that stage would be able to have a conversation about it rather than get triggered and get all upset about certain things, because that's all when people get mad, when people get triggered, is because they were hurt or did wrong around that topic,
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to assess it, to find out what stage you're at.
100%. Again, it's almost like a euphoric feeling. It's the aha moment that you get when you actually see and understand what others see in you, or what others have seen in you in the past, and you step back in and you look at the whole situation. It's like, if I did this a certain way, I wouldn't get that result. I'd get another result. So again, you're now, the driver of your whole destiny, because you now see things without blinders on. You can actually see and you can stop yourself before making that mistake. That's when, like I said, what Wally said, that's when you're healed. When you can actually stop and control yourself before going into that same problem or same situation again, is when you know that you are definitely healed or ready for your next portion. Actually, I guess as you said.
So friends, like I get it. Friends do argue, family argues, but there has to be something. There has to be something there. So, perfect example. Me and this guy, we're like, our family's, it's just a total shit show right now. So I literally texted Reggie yesterday. I was like, I'm done. And he texted me back. He's like, you got to stop just cutting people off and take a step back and look at everything as it is. Because I am very quick to cut people off. Very quick. But you probably need to find somebody that's been married for like 40 years. Ask that man how this last, and then turn around and ask that woman, how did this last? I guarantee you're going to hear the same things from both of them. There's going to be some tough times, but you have to fight through these tough times and go. That's like, I fight with my friends all the time, but 9 times out of 10, we just agree to disagree, and then we just get back. But you have to be open to listening to someone say you may be too aggressive, or you may just need to chill out. Ain't nothing wrong with staying at home.
You're right.
Like I said, you'll probably be in a grocery store, and all of a sudden it'll be like a movie. You go to reach for a melon, and the girl reach for a melon. And then y'all look at each other like this.
I work at a grocery store, and I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jose says, no, this ain't off sale. Relax, leave it alone. Can't you see the price? It's $9.99. It's $6.99.
and so the whole time she's like, I was going to ask you for your number. He's like, oh,
oh, my bad.
Yeah.
And she just walks away.
I don't even see cold approaches going on in the grocery store. Like I said, I work at a grocery store.
But you're looking.
No,
like
no,
you're
listen.
looking for
Like,
that stuff.
no, like honestly, like I've been doing this for about a year and a half now, and like, yeah, I know that's a short time, but like every time, like I really haven't seen any cold approaches. I haven't seen like that you know, one person reached their hand, the other reached their hand for the same item. Is like, because I'm in the aisles, like I see the interaction, what goes down with people, and like most of the time it's just, you know, a hi or a look and just keep it moving. Like there's no conversations, there's no like, you know, questions being asked unless they're asking me questions, to which I, you know, obviously, you know, I help them out, you know, whatever they need. But like for the most part, like you don't really see that. At least I don't. But I'm not really looking for it. It's just like I said, when I'm in the aisles, when I'm, you know, doing my thing, you know, doing what I have to do, you know, you just really don't see it naturally.
You'll hit
You
you. You'll slap you.
know, I don't think it's any. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tunde.
No, I'm just saying.
And they say, and one more thing, like, and they say that, you know, grocery stores are a good place to meet potential mates, you know? So like,
who says that?
Dating coaches,
You talking about the same dating coaches that are on apps?
People that are expert. They say that get off the apps and go out and meet, you know, go to a library, go to a coffee shop, go to grocery stores, go to events, you know?
How did you find friends as a kid?
Mostly from school.
No, but say if there's somebody on a block, you go knock on your door and say, "Hey, can Johnny come out and play?"
Yeah, I've done that a few times when I was a small child. Yeah,
that never happened in my house.
You're
You
still a child.
Why are you coming to my door? You don't get that.
But it all starts with, "Hey, how's your day?" Male and female, ask them, and don't ask them just because you're working. Like literally say, "Oh, how's your day?"
Small talk.
I always say to the customers, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
Anything I can help you with today?
You're working.
That's the most common thing you can say to anybody.
Yeah. And you know, even when I'm not, even if I'm shopping myself, you know, at another grocery store or at Target or something, like I'm,
cheater.
You know, what?
We go to other grocery stores. We're going to go grab other people's melons and stuff.
Well, this was before I started working at the grocery store I'm at, the company that I'm at now. I'm saying beforehand.
Okay. Here's something. You're saying that all that stuff isn't working. I've seen a trend now on I guess TikTok or whatever, that there's people who go around strangers and give them the most amazing compliments, right? And then you start blushing or smiling, whatever, be it guy or girl. They just, it makes their day. Maybe you should do that. Go step out of the regular and be that guy that stands out from the crowd and say, hey, you know what? That dress looks amazing on you today. You'll never know what that person will say right back to you.
But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I am doing that. I am going to certain people. It's like, your hair looks nice today, you know?
Yeah, how are you doing it? Are you going?
I was gonna say no. Hey girl, is that
just naturally coming? See, y'all funny. You just naturally, you know, just they come into your eye and say, "Hi," you know. I like how your hair looks today. You know, your hair's nice.
Yeah,
or
I don't.
You have a nice smile.
For me,
you know.
For me,
I don't think if you're doing it, then just keep on.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, if you're doing it, keep on doing it. Eventually, someone will take notice that you have interest in them and go.
But I will say this, and I might get into some shit for this, but I've heard that women don't like compliments. because compliments are a gateway to trying to, oh, you just trying to holler, or you just want something.
We thank goodness that
You know?
Michelle's mic is not working because she ready to just ramp up right now. What do you mean? What are you talking
Correct
about?
me if I'm wrong though, because I give compliments. Like I said, I give compliments all the time, and look where it's gotten me. You know.
But so my thing is this: I think you keep saying they say. There are going to be some women that just don't know how to accept compliments. It's not that they don't like them. Sometimes they don't know how to accept them.
Yes, this is true. That's 100%.
Like I'll say this: the whole "you're beautiful" or "oh my God, you're so gorgeous" that's played out. Like that is not.
I have never said that in my life.
I won't ever go there because I know that.
I'll go to a lady and say, "Hey, you have nice calves," and just walk away.
Oh God.
Just throw it off. Right? Just throw them off.
Then she's gonna be looking at you like, "Yo, this dude crazy as hell."
Again,
I want to talk to him. You already done. You're done. She don't want you.
I know, really, but really, you can't give them the generic compliment. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you have a nice smile. Whatever. You know, you gotta be creative when it comes to talking to people now, because they've heard that probably 15 times in that same day, maybe in the same hour. Again, it is what it is. You gotta be creative. You have to stand out from the rest.
Yeah, because I guarantee when she's walking around the grocery store, every guy that wears the uniform that you wear is probably saying, "Hello, how are you doing? Hello, how are you doing?" It's just it's just a norm. They're gonna think that you're
just doing the job.
Yeah, you're being told to say that to people.
Yeah. Now, if you say, "Hey,"
that's my character as a clerk.
Yeah, but okay. But now, say, for instance, you see someone who's picking out, I don't know what department, whatever. Say you're going and she's picking out vegetables and said, "Oh, are you cooking for family?" Blah, blah, blah. Say, yeah. So, okay. And
we have an asparagus table at our store.
But there you go. And then you have to build on that atmosphere, that area. Because if they see that you're putting in the time to get to know them or get to know the situation, they might now switch it and say, "Hey, this person actually is putting time and effort into me and not just giving me a quick, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah." Because again, you're standing out. That's just me. If you stand out, people will take notice. That's just me.
Hey, guys.
That's why I wear pink shirts.
What do you think?
That's
there you go.
Check out.
Reggie's done?
Yeah.
Reggie's tapping out. Well, we have been talking for 2 hours. We should cut.
Yeah, I'm sorry
for sure, because Jules is old and he has to go to bed. So I understand, and I thank everyone. Hey, Michelle, I know
I think there should be a part 2 to this.
We definitely have to get you an Android phone or a tablet or a laptop. It's all good. Reggie, it's always been a pleasure. I love that shirt you're wearing. Wally, as usual, coming in with the great knowledge. I thank you. Josue, man, I love the conversation you're bringing to the table now these few days. So I thank you for now showing up on a regular basis. So thank you. And thank you everybody who has been a part of the show today. Again, we went from 1 or 2 topics to kind of flowing into something that's just how we do it at this podcast. It's not your regular type of podcast. And I'm thankful that we do it this way. So again, we'll be doing it again next week sometime. If you guys have topics that you want to, talk about, or your friends have talked about, or anybody has a question or a situation that they want to talk about, feel free to post it and we'll definitely talk about it here on the show. That being said, we are going to head out. I'm going to go work out because these muscles don't just happen. Never mind. Anyways, we're out. Peace and love.